This is big breaking news. The U.S. Marshals have been deployed, and the FBI has been deployed as well too, working in coordination with local law enforcement in Florida, and they have made a shocking discovery. All right, they have found almost dozens of children over the past few weeks. So let's get into all the details. You guys can see here, this is what's going on in Jacksonville, Florida right now. The U.S. Marshals has made a lot of arrests for an operation to save 22 children. They're saying 22 missing children have been found. And this kind of spotlights how there are potentially 300,000 children that we don't know exactly where they are that crossed the U.S. southern border over the past 4 years under the previous administration. 300,000 children, some numbers estimate, and we don't know where they are. Okay, and these are 22 kids that they found. All right, I don't know if they crossed the border, okay, or if they're U.S. citizens. They didn't disclose that, who the children were. But let's watch this really quick. I can't play the audio because it has a song in the background that's just gonna get copyrighted, so I can't play it. But I will read what it's saying for you guys on the captions. It says, "Officer, you got a flashlight knocking. Police are here. Time to wake up. Hey, wake up. Police, wake up. Police, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office partner with the U.S. Marshals along with the Intercept Task Force to essentially locate missing children in our area." I missed the end there. And the whole northeast Florida area. Took a lot of hard work, a lot of knocking on doors. This is what this officer here is saying. But we were able to find 2 missing children this morning. All right. So this is a big operation. They have a lot of law enforcement officers. They made a lot of arrests. They said here, so it's so important for us to locate and find these kids because we know that children are out there on the street. They're either running from something or running to something. We also have a higher level of potential human trafficking, child exploitation, and being victims of other crimes. It says they've been successful in the last week, with it being so far extremely successful. We are hoping that by the end of this week, every missing kid in the Northeast area region will be found. Right, so I don't know if they'll have every missing kid. I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more going on, but 22 is a really good start. And this is what they need to be doing. Okay, I remember the videos when kids would show up at the southern border with a paper that has an address on it saying, hey, this is where I'm supposed to go. And they would just fly the kid to this random address and deliver the kid essentially to this home, not knowing who it really is, because they removed DNA testing requirements as well too, because previously under Trump, and this was the rule before Trump as well too, even under Obama, this was the rule actually, where if a child crossed with an adult, they would have to be DNA tested to make sure they're at least related to the child in some way, and that was removed in 2020, and this caused a massive influx of potential children being brought into the U.S. for bad reasons, okay? And a lot of them had pieces of paper with addresses on them, and they would just send them to these addresses, taxpayer funded, by the way, flights and everything, and deliver them to someone's house that who knows who they are. Maybe it was their uncle or their aunt or their grandma, but maybe it wasn't. And maybe it was somebody that was nefarious and not a good person at all to be sending these kids to. This shouldn't be happening at all anyways. But we could have been sending them into very dangerous hands, all right? And this is going to take a lot of cleanup. 300,000 kids just from the southern border over the past 4 years. And then that's not to mention the hundreds of thousands of kids domestically, U.S. citizens inside the United States, that go missing too. Okay, so this is a good sign. It's good to see this Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, but it needs to keep going. All right, and I think these operations are actually going on a lot more behind the scenes, but we're just not hearing about it publicly all the time. Let's listen to this really quick too about Operation Charlotte's Web, which is going on in Charlotte right now. Let's listen to this.
At least over the first couple of days. And Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said it's not going to stop just at apprehending criminal illegal aliens. Listen to what he said.
We're going to focus on the worst of the worst, but we're also going to make sure if you're here in the country legally, we're going to get you out. And to the employers who employ and attract a lot of these illegal aliens that come in and steal American jobs, we're going to focus on those American companies as well.
Now, there's all of these protests to say, okay, you're not just focusing on criminal illegal aliens, you're focusing on folks who are just in this country illegally, you're focusing now on employers. But this is exactly what the Obama administration did in 2012, 2013, 2014. They went after they prioritized criminal illegal aliens, but they deported a lot of other people too.
Exactly.
Who were just in the country illegally, and there wasn't a huge hue and cry from the left about that.
If you're in this country illegally, you made two choices, not just to enter the country illegally or stay in the country illegally, but now you have a choice as well. You can leave now, take a $1,000 exit bonus, free flight home, and then potentially return the right legal way. But if you don't, the message is very clear. We will arrest you. But I also think that there are more facts here as well. There's about 1,400 criminal illegal aliens that right now are in North Carolina in Charlotte's jails that they refuse to turn over to ICE law enforcement. If those sanctuary city politicians would work with us and actually let us into their jails to take out these MS-13 gang members, murderers, serial child rapists, which I've seen these lists of people, they are heinous individuals who are in these jails. If they are released back into Charlotte and not turned over to ICE, they will go on to re-perpetuate crimes.
All right, so you heard that there. That was the DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, and she was saying, because there's a lot of unrest in Charlotte right now because DHS and ICE have moved into Charlotte, North Carolina, and are having massive operations, right? That's what it's called, the Charlotte's Web. So people are protesting, people are speaking out, and Trump's even potentially talked of National Guard deployments, and officials there have even been asking for National Guard to be deployed. And she was saying that 1,400 people inside of their prison system are illegal aliens, and they will not cooperate with ICE even though they have detainers and potential removal orders from ICE and a judge. So once they get out of custody of the state or the county, then they are supposed to overturn custody to ICE, but they have not been doing that. They've just been allowing people to go, and that's what a lot of these sanctuary cities have been doing for years. And that's part of the reason why these things have gotten so bad, because they just allow people to roam free and not cooperate with federal law enforcement. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up. I think next year is going to be a really big year. I think we're going to see a major crackdown, federal crackdown with DHS, National Guard, potential Insurrection Act. All these things are still on the table. And I think people are going to respond like we're seeing in Charlotte right now. We're seeing lots of protests. We're seeing people getting out there, whether some of it's, paid or not. Some of it is. Some of them are agitators, but some of them are just out there because they want to be out there. They like to be out there. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that next summer. Okay, I think we're going to see a ramp up on both sides. I think the Trump administration is going to ramp up their operations, and I think the counter operations are going to ramp up their protest machine as well too. All right, and we could potentially see, similar scenes like we've seen in Minneapolis and places like that, mostly peaceful protesting. Right, so let's hope we don't see that, but I just have a feeling 2026 is going to be a big one because it's midterms and it's going to be summer. And the word that I'm hearing is that the DHS operations are just beginning. So thank you guys. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family. And I hope you have a big old blessed day.